All right. Oh, I'm falling over. I'm hammered. Oh my God. Give it up for Beth, everybody. You can get shingles under 50. Sure. Yeah, we all bought that one. Just in case you guys are wondering, I'm wearing a French maid outfit. Long before I stopped licking syrup off my shirt, okay? She has too high expectations for her husband, I'm just saying. She did say I'm from Steamboat. I am. It's awesome to be here. I love coming to Aspen to get out of the snow. I ain't done yet. Yeah, man. I love Aspen. I love coming a couple hours early so I can take in the valley because I really do love your valley. It's awesome. The Aspen Valley is like God's country. Yeah, if God was a Kardashian, I told you that. And I was in downtown. I intermixed with a bunch of the locals, and it was fun. I had one interaction. I saw this girl. She had a shirt on. It said, "My dog thinks I'm a real big deal." And I told her, I was like, that shirt would be really funny if it said, "My dog thinks I'm a real big bitch." And she ran off going, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." I guess some people can't take a joke. I gotta keep looking at my jokes because I just wrote these down today. I don't know much about real estate, but I figure you get an extra $200,000 if you use the word house instead of house, right? Like, what the fuck's up with that? Everything's a house in this town. But I was excited when Sarah contacted me and asked me if I wanted to come here and do some comedy again, and I was really excited about that because I need a $2,300 purse. But no, I was excited. The one thing she did tell me, she goes, "Now this is a big deal, so if you come here to do this, don't disappoint." And I was like, "Oh, why don't you just handcuff me, man?" Because there's one thing I've been good at my whole life, that is disappointment. You can ask educators, lovers, employers. Just disappoint. Even my mom on her deathbed, with her last breath, looked up at me and went, "You're such a disappointment." But I was standing over her with a pillow. You laugh, but I'm rich and can afford to live in a ski town. You gotta ask yourself what you're willing to kill for, people. Me, 3-bedroom house in Steamboat. I'm flying through my jokes too fast. I'm gonna get done too quick. It's kind of like sex. I love it. It's going way too fast, as my wife says. Recently, I met a guy in Steamboat, a new guy, just moved to Steamboat. He's like a 23-year-old, tall, kind of talks like he's stoned all the time. And he had these dreadlocks, and it was actually at a comedy open mic, and he was doing a whole story about how he just moved to town, and he locked his keys in his car, and it was a bummer because he's a pizza delivery guy. And also because he was living in his car. And I felt bad for this guy. I was like, dude, that sucks. I remember when I was young and I just moved to a ski town and how hard it is. And I was like, I should do something really nice for this guy, right? I should buy him dinner or something, just kind of help him out. And I asked him, I was like, what kind of car do you drive? And he said an '03 Suburban. And I was like, well, fuck, his house is bigger than mine. That guy's buying me dinner, man. I just went to Georgia recently. And when I was in Georgia, we rented a car. And before I got out of the airport, some asshole had honked his horn at me. And it just triggered me really bad. And I went, you know what, you fuckers? You come to my town and drive like a dipshit, I'm gonna come to your town and drive like a dipshit. So I merged the wrong way onto a highway at night. I got pulled over by a cop for not turning on my headlights. And I wrapped our rental car around a concrete pillar in the parking garage of our hotel. And I was only there for 3 days. I thought it was funny. Oh, you guys must suck at driving. You're like, yeah, what up? I do that all the time. I hope I look okay tonight. I had a question about my haircut and a bunch of other things, and people often say I have resting fat face, so... Oh man, yeah, you know, if you look at me, like, I'm not into trends at all, but if you're looking at me, you're like, whatever, you got one of the biggest trends in America, like, staring us in the face. That's right, obesity. Recently I went to my doctor and he told me, he's like, Drew, you need to lose some weight. And I was like, I can't. And he goes, yeah, it's easy, just some diet and exercise. I was like, no, I'll lose half my jokes. It's like an old Bonneville joke. Yeah, I'll lose half my jokes. Yeah. I love it. Living in these towns, I'm not sure how many of you guys can relate to this, but living in this town is really hard to date. It's really hard. Because in Steamboat, there is one girl for every 10 guys. That is crazy. One girl for every 10 guys. And yet those bitches still complain, okay? They still complain. The saying in Steamboat is, yeah, the odds are good, but the goods are odd. And I'm like, fuck you, bitch. Listen, it's your fault, right? If you waited to move to a ski town to find a good guy, no guy ever moved to a ski town to become a titan of industry, okay? We were happy when we finally slept on a bed that was off the ground. You know? I mean, you can take me for example. Like, I moved to a ski town 30 years ago to go to a 2-year college, and I'm still 6 credit hours short of graduating. I'm a 29-year senior. Starting to get a little awkward with the girls in the class, I'm just saying. Where's the party? You know? Oh yeah, I told them too after the last semester. I was like, man, why don't you guys just pass me so I can get out of here? And they're like, that would be completely unethical. I'm like, my high school did it. And I took a class up there at Colorado Mountain College. There's actually one here in Aspen. Yeah. And I took a class at Colorado Mountain College called Boot Fitting 101. This is a real college course that gives you real college credit to teach somebody how to put a ski boot on their foot. And I was like, you'd have to be a dumb motherfucker to flunk out of this class. And it turns out... And recently a lady came up to me and she's like, you know, I want to tell you something. I'm a chubby chaser. And for those of you that don't know what a chubby chaser is, that is somebody that is attracted to somebody that is overweight. And she goes, yeah, I've always been attracted to kind of chubby, funny guys. And of course, I perked up and was like, yeah, you know? And then she leaned back in her chair, looked at me and goes, well, I'm not too fat. Okay, because it gets worse. Okay, so she then follows it up with, okay, well, I mean, it's just because I don't like that sour smell that fat guys get between their balls and their leg. Yeah, and I was like, man, this chick has sucked some fat guy dick, okay? I mean, how else would you know that they get that smell, right? That's the only way I know they get that smell. Oh, man. I walked a table recently at a show by opening up the joke by saying there's no God, right? I said, there's no God. And then I was looking over here, and I came back over here, and this table was empty. And on stage, I was just kind of like, oh, that's weird, what happened to those people? And I found out later that as soon as I said there's no God, these people all got up from their table and walked out of the show. And I wish I could talk to those people, because do I look like the know-all if there's a God out there? Like, you don't want to trust this, right? Like, oh, that guy really must know. I don't like it. So, anyways, the joke was, there is no God, right? Because when you get fat, everything on your body gets bigger except your penis. And I don't think God would do that to somebody that's fucking mean, That's just not nice, man. And I was telling my best friend at the bar this story, and the bartender overheard us, and she comes over and goes, well, I heard it's quite the opposite. The fatter you get, the smaller your penis looks. And I was like, yeah, fuck you, bitch. Because I don't need you to remind me of when my penis went from an outie to an innie, okay? I'm the only person in the room right now that has a penis that matches his belly button, okay? It got so bad that me and my wife went to have sex, we just ended up scissoring. Her clit rubbing on my clit, it was hot. She jizzed all over my tits. Thanks, guys, I'm through. Have a wonderful night.